Republican Senator Marsha Blackburn of the great state of Tennessee, member of the Judiciary and Armed Services Committees, 2 of the 4 she serves on. Great to see you today, Senator. First of all, what does this case mean?
What this is going to determine is if Biden is going to be able to continue his open border policy, or if Title 42, if securing that border is going to be able to stand. And Harris, we've had 2.7 million illegal immigrants across that border that were apprehended since October of last year. That's the October to October number. In that, you had 98 known terrorists. Now, these are going into every state in the country. It is why every state's a border state, every town's a border town. The drugs, the human trafficking, the sex trafficking, the illegal activity that is associated with this. Now, in addition to those that are apprehended, you have the known gotaways. You also have the unknown gotaways. And these communities are saying, we want to be able to protect ourselves. It is the United States government's responsibility. If they don't do it, we're going to pick up the ball and we are going to protect ourselves. And they want that ability, rightfully so.
And Texas has been doing this. I flew with the Texas DPS and their chopper just a couple of months ago. And what I could see from the air is they were rounding people up. The federal government doesn't allow them to deport, though. Based on the reasons that they know they should. And to say, well, who's a national security threat? Look how long it takes them to even tell us, the federal government, who among the groups are terrorists.
Yes.
And there's no transparency in how they're doing that. So, of course, states want to be able to control their destiny at this point.
That is exactly right, because it is your local sheriff, your local police department that is dealing with the fentanyl and the drugs. It is these emergency responders that are dealing with women who are being trafficked, that are dealing with these gangs that are on our streets. And every city out there, even rural parts of the country, are seeing an uptick in crime. Why do you have gangs that are now present in cities that had never had a gang presence? It's because they're coming across this border and they're spreading out. We have recently had the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation talk about the cartels being active in Tennessee. Now, we are not on the border, but the problems that are associated with border states and border communities have now migrated to states like Tennessee. And local law enforcement is saying, give us the authority to deport these people.
Well, that was inevitable. I mean, no state can absorb 2.7 million people.
That's right.
Not including the hundreds of thousands of known gotaways and unknown, as you said. So they've got to fan out. Because 3 million people you'd see in a heartbeat. I mentioned flying with the Texas DPS helicopter. This is what they just caught. Mexican police in riot gear clearing out and evicting a camp of at least 2,000 Venezuelan people living on the Rio Grande in Mexico, directly across from El Paso, Texas. Some of the Venezuelans can be seen rioting, assaulting the Mexican police, throwing wood at them, and setting fires. The Venezuelans had been camping there waiting for Title 42 to fall on December 21st. So those people want to come here. Senator.
Yes. They are trying to come here. In this, we know that there are people who have criminal backgrounds. We know this. Law enforcement will tell you this, Harris, and they are very concerned. As I said, you've got those that are apprehended. You also have the gotaways, the known gotaways, and then the unknown gotaways that are flooding into this country. Local elected officials are saying, please help us with this. If you're not going to defend that border, give us the responsibility. Let us apprehend. Let us deport. Let us take care of the people in our communities. And Title 42 ending in December, this is something that people are saying you have to keep this in place.
Well, look, and the people coming from Venezuela, which is interesting because we're about to do an oil deal with them, right?
Exactly.
We're allowing U.S. companies to open up oil because we don't want to do that for ourselves here in this country and be energy independent. Post the midterm election, 21 days ago, and the video looks much like it has all along, with millions of people waiting to come in. And go around our checkpoints. Do it their way. All right, Senator, let's move to this. President Biden is passing the buck, apparently, in hopes of keeping that looming rail strike at bay. He's now turning to Congress after labor leaders and railroads failed to agree to the president's deal. In a statement yesterday, here's President Biden, quote, Congress has the power to adopt the agreement and prevent a shutdown. It should set aside politics and partisan division and deliver for the American people. That's him. Speaker Pelosi was quick to announce a vote on the legislation, which includes only some things those labor unions are looking for. That's slated for next week. Where is this going?
Well, the House is going to take it up. Bear in mind, this offer from the President's Emergency Board that met on this was $1,000 a year bonuses retroactive to 2020. It was the largest pay increase in 40 years, increased health care, increased benefits, better working conditions. You had the majority of the workers approve this. Some are still holding out because Joe Biden has said, I'm the most pro-union president in the nation's history, and he is not going to challenge these unions. He is not going to push them. And Harris, we're seeing this not only with the rail strike, but we're seeing it in the VA. We're seeing it with the SEIU, in other sectors where Joe Biden will not challenge the union leadership. He'd rather be popular than be respected and protect the U.S. economy and deal with these supply chains. I have heard from people in the chemical industry and the energy production and distribution industries. I have heard from people that are in manufacturing. They are very concerned about this. They have had to work overtime trying to deal with shortages and supply chains. And they are very concerned about this, but Joe Biden can't solve it. He is weak-kneed. He is punting this to Congress and saying, you do something about it. He is not strong enough to do it on his own.
Well, and we've got Christmas coming, and you talk about delivering supplies and all of that and what's going on in China. The markets here are already having a reverberation to potential slowdown as people there are protesting the COVID lockdowns and not at work, technically, the supply chain slowing. So all of that, the timing of this, as you say, is critical. One last one with you, and I appreciate your time. Critics are calling out the Biden administration's decision to let U.S. oil companies drill in Venezuela. Senator, this is what I spoke of moments ago. They say we should not be relying on foreign oil. We have our own. Here's the White House on it.
Why is it that President Biden would rather let U.S. companies drill for oil in Venezuela than here in the U.S.?
That's not an accurate take on the president's view.
Earlier this month, he said no more drilling. There is no more drilling.
The president has issued 9,000 permits for drilling on U.S. federal lands, Peter. 9,000 of them being unused. There are plenty of opportunities for oil and gas companies to drill here in the United States.
All right, first of all, before we go to that, let's take that down. I want to go right back to the senator. What's your reaction when you hear from the press podium what he's saying, what Admiral Kirby's saying?
Oh, how hypocritical. Day one, killing Keystone, then moving forward, taking Anwar off the books. Can't drill there. You can't get new federal leases. In September alone, they halted drilling on 58,000 acres of land. They paused 113 leases. And now they're trying to continue this war on American energy, but they're turning around and saying, oh, well, if we can't get it from Russia, let's go to Venezuela. And let's see what we can do with Maduro, with a regime that is brutalizing people, and these people are coming to our southern border. How about going to somebody like Guyana that is right next there, that they could get oil from, that is U.S. friendly, but oh no, they are wanting to do business with these dictatorial regimes and will not put into place drilling on U.S. land. Go talk with anybody who is a wildcatter or a bigger oil company, and they will tell you they cannot move forward right now because there is a lack of stability, a lack of consistency from the federal government and how they're going to allow these leases to be activated. You can say there's 9,000 leases out there. You can say there are people that own mineral rights. You can't do anything with it because this administration has locked it down and has said, no, we will not let you drill or explore or pump or use this oil.
No one has said it as succinctly as you just have right there. And why not go to Guyana? We'll look deeper into that. Can't wait to have you back. Senator Blackburn of the great state of Tennessee, thank you for being in focus.
Thank you.